Next, let's take you to Cape Town. Civic society organisations and members of the public, you'll all be given a chance to make submissions before the ad hoc committee looking into allegations of corruption in the SAPS. Zoleka Qodashe is live for us from Parliament and tells us why this particular one is incredibly important. Zoleka, good morning. I shared with our viewers when I was talking about the diary today, just some of the organisations that will already be in Parliament. They've been given their time slots to engage in those public hearings, your ISSs and others. Just again, break down who will be addressing the ad hoc committee and why this step is so important. Good morning.
Good morning, Iman. That's correct. There are several people that are expected to be before the Parliamentary Ad Hoc Committee today and will be assisting the committee come to a conclusion, really, in terms of those allegations of criminal infiltration and political interference in the criminal justice system. Now, you'll remember that in terms of this particular process, it is an inquisitorial one, and so there is no evidentiary threshold to which the ad hoc committee is supposed to comply, because it is as opposed to criminal proceedings and criminal law, where there must be, the state must demonstrate that there is a case beyond reasonable doubt. And so here we are looking at a balance of probabilities, and there the test is an objective one. And so it is essentially the work of these various parties that are going to be appearing before the committee to assist the committee in coming to a determination. Now, you have the likes of Patricia Mashale that will also be appearing before the inquisitorial body, and you'll remember that that is a name that we've heard previously in relation to the submissions that have been made to Minister Senzo Mchunu, that's now been placed on leave of absence in relation to the work of the political killings task team in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. She's expected to detail the work of the PKTT and why she was against it, and also the evidence that has been presented before the minister that's been placed on leave of absence. We expect also, you'll remember that there were questions in relation to, that were posed to the minister about how he tested those particular allegations that were made to him in relation to the work of the PKTT. We also expect, Iman, that the powers of the minister will also be interrogated yet again. You'll remember that in terms of statute, the SAPS Act as well as the Constitution, Section 207, subsection 2 is expected to be a central theme today as well. You'll remember that in terms of Section 207, subsection 1, it is the President that appoints the National Commissioner, but the subsection 2 then details the powers of the National Commissioner in managing and controlling the work of the SAPS. We expect essentially that the work of the ISS will also come in handy for the ad hoc committee, as it speaks to the powers of the minister in relation to policing powers as well as the policing versus policy and those operational powers that are entrenched in the Constitution for the National Commissioner and not for the minister. So we expect that also to come to the fore. But in terms of the work of the SAPS in general, in relation to its budget as well as how it spends its budget, you remember that over 400 million rand was allocated to the PKTT, or it has spent since its inception in 2018, over 400 million rand. That is also something that is expected to be interrogated by the ad hoc committee when other people or other parties make their representations before it. So it is quite an important process, because you remember that this issue of policing is not one that is only in relation to the PKTT and the attempted disbandment by the Minister of Police on the 31st of December 2024. There's also issues about how the police conduct its affairs, particularly in relation to the PKTT. Iman, those proceedings are expected to kick off at 11 a.m. with Accountability Now Director, Advocate Hoffman, before the Parliamentary Committee.
And as and when, Zoleka will be taking those proceedings live as well. Thank you for the update.